Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning into today's video. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumors and leaks to go over. Please hit that like button if you enjoy the video, and if you're new here to the channel, consider subscribing and becoming a channel member. So starting off with some really good news. In the summer of 2024, the gaming industry was left extremely disappointed when GameStop abruptly shut down the independent Game Informer, bringing an end to the magazine's incredible 33-year legacy and laying off the entire team. It was a shocking moment for the gaming industry, as Game Informer had long been regarded as one of the most important publications within the gaming industry, given its history covering countless games, developers, and industry trends over the decades. However, against all odds, Game Informer is back. It isn't a case of GameStop reversing its decision, it's something even better. GameStop sold the brand entirely, and Game Informer has found new life under a fresh parent company called Gunzilla Games. Even more exciting is that the entire team that was laid off is back on board, ensuring continuity with the publication's original vision and voice. Importantly, Gunzilla Games has committed to giving the magazine full editorial independence, meaning Game Informer will continue to operate as an unbiased and reliable source of gaming journalism. The shutdown last summer was a massive blow to the industry, wiping out not just a beloved magazine, but also an invaluable archive of gaming history. And many feared the Game Informer's legacy would be lost forever. But now, with the team reassembled, the magazine is set to return later this year, and it marks what feels like the start of a bright new chapter. For long-time fans and industry professionals, this is a huge win. The return of Game Informer means that one of the last great gaming magazines still has a future, preserving a wealth of knowledge, insights, and in-depth game coverage. With the archives being restored and the magazine's revival on the horizon, this feels less like a resurrection and more like a well-earned second chance at cementing its place within the gaming history. Great news for gaming journalism, and great to see an independent media outlet coming back. So let's move on. The impact of Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto 6 is already being felt across the gaming industry, even though the game isn't set to launch until the fall of 2025. Reports indicate that at least 3 major video game publishers are already making strategic decisions to delay or adjust the release window of their games in order to avoid competing with what is expected to be not just one of the gaming industry's biggest launch, but the biggest media launch ever in history. While Rockstar has yet to confirm the exact release date, the simple announcement of a fall 2025 window has been enough to cause a ripple effect throughout the industry. Publishers are reportedly scrambling to adjust their schedules, not wanting to get caught in the gravitational pull of GTA 6. One senior executive from a leading game publisher made it clear why companies are so wary. And he goes on to say that Rockstar Games has always sucked a lot of money and, more importantly, time out of the market. We don't want to be anywhere near that when the game launches. We are working up multiple different plans for our titles. The logic behind these moves is simple. GTA 6 is expected to dominate both sales and player engagement for months after the launch. So gamers have only so much time and money to spend, and history has shown that when Rockstar releases a new Grand Theft Auto game, it becomes a center of attention, not just for the gaming world, but for everybody. Another industry executive reinforced the same point, emphasizing that finding a good launch window is already challenging, even without the looming presence of GTA 6. They go on to say that even without GTA, it's immensely difficult to find free time for new games to shine. Time is the real scarcity for us, not money. It's tough out there. A third source, representing a major European AAA publisher, explained how GTA 6's fall launch could disrupt the entire release calendar, and many developers are now faced with a difficult choice: either rush the games out earlier in the year to avoid the competition, or push them back altogether until after the holiday season, where they will have to contend with Black Friday sales and year-end releases. They go on to say that we don't want to launch just before or just after the game. If it arrives in late October, that means you have to launch early, which a lot of people seem to be doing with the recent glut of summer release dates, or go later, putting you up against the Black Friday sales. This dilemma isn't just affecting full game releases. Developers working on live service games are also planning to delay major updates and expansions to avoid weeks surrounding the GTA 6's launch. One insider summed up the situation perfectly. They go on to say that GTA 6 is basically a huge meteor, and we will just stay clear of the blast zone. we will nudge our release back or forward 3 weeks to avoid it. Of course, the problem is everyone's going to do the same. So 3 or 4 weeks before or after GTA 6, you're going to get a whole load of games dropping content in what they believe will be the safe zone. The industry's cautious approach to GTA 6 speaks volumes about Rockstar's dominance. A game of this scale isn't just another blockbuster release, it's a cultural event, one that will completely absorb the gaming community's attention. One final executive put it bluntly: there's no point swimming against the current, we just need to prepare to win players back once the excitement has started to die down. And while some companies might be taking the gamble and trying to get ahead with Rockstar's juggernaut on the horizon, most seem content to wait it out. The challenge will come once GTA 6's fever subsides, as publishers scramble to bring back players to their own games. Until then, the strategy for most developers is clear: stay out of Rockstar's way and we live to fight another day. 100% agree. When GTA 6 comes out, just stay clear. I don't even think 3 or 4 weeks is enough for some games. People are going to be invested in the single player game and then the online mode of this game, right? That world is so big and it's going to be incredible. So it's probably wise to get your game out first if you can, by several months, not just weeks, if that's possible. If it's not possible, push your game back to 2026 and hope that's enough time for people who want to step away from GTA 6 to try a new experience. Guys, just remember to smash that like button if you're enjoying the video so far, and let's move on. When the action-packed Chinese game Phantom Blade Zero was first revealed, many gamers immediately drew comparisons to From Software's Soul series. The combat, the dark aesthetics, and the intense battles led many to assume it was another Souls-like entry. However, the game's director, ironically called Liang Soulframe, has consistently downplayed this notion. As more gameplay footage has been revealed, fans and critics have now started comparing Phantom Blade Zero to the Ninja Gaiden series due to its fast-paced, combo-driven system. So where exactly does a game fit within these comparisons? According to Liang and the development team at S-Game, Phantom Blade Zero is a fusion of multiple inspirations. At this year's Game Developers Conference, they outlined the 3 main influences that define Phantom Blade Zero. Firstly, the combo-heavy combat mechanics are inspired by Devil May Cry, but with a more accessible input system. Secondly, it's the level design, which follows the interconnected map philosophy of Dark Souls, but removes the punishing consequences of failure. And lastly, the game's atmosphere takes inspiration from horror titles like Resident Evil 4 and Alan Wake, but with a unique visual style that the team described as Kung Fu Punk. And Liang acknowledges that while these comparisons are useful for gamers trying to understand the game, Phantom Blade Zero is not a simple blend of existing mechanics. The team is striving to create a unique, cohesive experience with 2 core design philosophies driving the development. The first is the idea of crafting a playable kung fu movie. Liang expressed his admiration for the golden era of Hong Kong martial arts cinema, referencing legends like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and Donnie Yen. He believes that the popularity of these films declined after the early 2000s, and Phantom Blade Zero is an opportunity to revive the genre within the gaming industry. S-Game is committed to ensuring authenticity, from motion capture work to its storytelling influences. Liang referenced the critically acclaimed game Sifu, developed by French studio Slowclap, and posed the question: if a French studio can create an authentic kung fu experience, why can't we do something even more faithful to our own culture? The second core principle is inspired by the game development approach of PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 era. Liang reminisced about how games during that period in time had manageable development scopes, passionate and creative teams, and budgets that didn't spiral out of control. He described Phantom Blade Zero as a bigger indie game, one that has a significant funding and experienced developers but remains focused on delivering a polished, self-contained experience. And the team is aware of the high expectations placed upon them because the success of another Chinese-developed game, Black Myth Wukong, has definitely raised the stakes. Both games have received financial backing from Tencent, and Wukong's massive popularity has demonstrated that the commercial viability of Chinese-made titles is massive on a global stage. According to Liang, the response to Phantom Blade Zero has been overwhelmingly positive, and while Wukong has garnered more attention within China, Phantom Blade Zero has received greater worldwide recognition. As an example, the game's announcement trailer on PlayStation's official YouTube channel has amassed over 5.3 million views, surpassing Wukong's 2.8 million. So despite all the excitement, one major question remains. When will Phantom Blade Zero be released? Liang and his team have yet to provide a definitive date, but given the level of polish seen so far, expectations remain high. Cannot wait for this game. It looks absolutely brilliant. And from what I've seen from the trailers, it just looks like such an enjoyable game from another Eastern studio. They seem to be delivering quality games right now. Let me know if you're looking forward to playing this game whenever this is released. Guys, once again, just remember, hit that like button please if you're enjoying the video. It really helps the video and the channel a whole bunch. Let's move on. The remastered version of PlayStation 4 cult classic Days Gone is set to launch on PlayStation 5 with several new features. Among the additions is a brand new mode called Horde Assault. This will significantly expand on the game's original Horde mode mechanics by increasing the number of enemies on screen and introducing survival-based gameplay. Ben Studio, the developers behind Days Gone, has also confirmed the inclusion of 6 new trophies. Some of these are tied to the Horde Assault, requiring players to defeat massive freaker hordes, surviving for extended periods of time, and achieving high scores. Another new feature is the introduction of a permadeath mode, which transforms the game into a high-stakes survival experience. And in this mode, players must complete the entire campaign without dying, though a single checkpoint will be available at the start of the second act. One particularly intriguing trophy involves the main character's wife, Sarah, suggesting that the remaster may contain additional narrative content. Whether this is a simple collectible or a more meaningful story expansion remains to be seen. With these new features, the added power of the PlayStation 5, Days Gone Remaster aims to breathe new life into the game, potentially attracting both returning fans and newcomers alike. And just to add to this, Days Gone Remastered offers several enhancements when played on the PS5 Pro, leveraging the console's advanced capabilities to deliver an improved gaming experience. Players can choose between 2 modes. That's the quality mode, which prioritizes higher resolution for more detailed visuals, or the performance mode, focusing on achieving smoother frame rates for fluid gameplay. These options allow players to tailor their experience based on preference, with the PS5 Pro's power ensuring enhanced graphical fidelity. The remastered edition benefits from increased foliage draw distance, enhanced shadow and lighting quality, and support for variable refresh rate, contributing to a more immersive and visually appealing world. The game fully utilizes the DualSense wireless controller's haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. Players can feel the rumble of the bike's engine and the tension of combat, adding a tactile dimension to the gameplay. And of course, we have those new modes as Horde Assault mode, Permadeath mode, and Speedrun mode. These additions provide fresh content and replayability for both new and returning players. Cannot wait to give this a blast on the PS5 Pro, a real reason to revisit an older game. But the only problem is going to be time. There's so many games coming out in the first half of this year. It's just timing. But either way, it's definitely worth diving in. What is it, $10, right, to get the remaster and then play it at a later stage. But yeah, definitely a good move from Sony on this one. Okay, let's move on. Naughty Dog, one of Sony's most prominent first-party studios, has had a challenging time this console generation. While the studio's horror survival franchise, The Last of Us, has seen a surge in popularity, partly due to HBO Max's well-received TV show, there hasn't been a brand new game release from the developer since The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020. So fans eager to get their hands on the studio's next project, Intergalactic, the Heretic prophet, might have to wait longer than expected. Bloomberg journalist Jason Schreier posted on Reset Era, hinting that the game would likely not be ready in 2026, making 2027 the earliest possible release window. If this turns out to be the case, it will mark a 7-year gap between Naughty Dog's major game releases, a massive contrast to the PS3 era where the developer released, check this out, Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Uncharted 2 Amongst Thieves, Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception, and The Last of Us, all within a single console generation. Phenomenal. And all those games still hold up today in 2025. The extended development timeline reflects a broader industry trend where the growing complexity of modern games demands much longer production cycles. And don't forget, COVID-19 pandemic disrupted development schedules across the gaming industry, affecting many studios, including Naughty Dog. But another factor contributing to the delay is the studio's abandoned The Last of Us multiplayer project, arguably costing them 3 to 4 years development time. Initially intended as an ambitious standalone online experience, the project was ultimately scrapped due to the significant resources it would have required, and Naughty Dog explained that supporting such a multiplayer title would have come at the cost of developing more single-player experiences, which remain the studio's core strength and focus. So it's such a shame that Naughty Dog went from making regular games being released every 2 or 3 years to now almost 7 years before we see the next game, Intergalactic, which is, if true, a couple of years away in 2027. But, we want it to be the best it can be. So, if they need time to cook, let them cook. Let's move on. CD Projekt Red has been making significant moves to bolster its development teams. Over the past 4 months, the company has hired more than 50 new employees with a primary focus on The Witcher 4 and other upcoming projects. Currently, The Witcher 4, the next major entry in the beloved RPG series, is the only game in full production, but nearly every project within CDPR has seen staffing increases. Now, CD Projekt Red recently released its earnings report for 2024 fiscal year, showcasing the ongoing success of Cyberpunk 2077 and the high anticipation surrounding The Witcher 4. And according to the report, the new Witcher title had the most watched trailer among the game premieres at the Game Awards, as well as the highest number of media mentions during that period. Between late November 2023 and the end of February 2024, CD Projekt Red brought on 57 new employees into their business. 11 of those new employees joined the Witcher 4 development team, increasing the total size now to 411 team members working on The Witcher 4. However, the biggest growth was seen in the team working on codenamed Orion, which is the codename for the upcoming Cyberpunk sequel. The team grew from 64 to 84 developers, signaling a strong commitment to the franchise despite the rocky launch of Cyberpunk 2077 in 2020. Although CD Projekt Red is ramping up its hiring efforts, fans shouldn't expect The Witcher 4 or the Cyberpunk sequel anytime soon. Witcher 4 is still in early stages of development, and the multiplayer Witcher project, codenamed Sirius, remains in pre-production. Other major projects, including The Witcher remake, Cyberpunk Orion, and an entirely new intellectual property codenamed Hadar, are still in their concept phases. Certainly exciting times if you enjoy games being made from CD Projekt Red. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the topics discussed in today's video. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next video.